Hi guys, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. This is going to be the A's of the Q&A that I posted on my community tab. Since I don't want to skip any questions, I'm going to cover all of them and we're going to go do it chronologically from the oldest to the newest. Now if I don't cover some questions, we just divide this into more videos. So if I don't cover everything today, we'll do another one next week. But don't worry, all your questions are going to be answered. So let's start. The first question is from Abhishek Bhatt. The watches I'm thinking about are GG1000 Mudmaster, GW9400 Rangeman, GA1000 and GA1100. I live in the US, so I do not know how I will be affected by the NIST tower shutdown. Also, I want a watch that I can see well in the dark. So which one of these watches would you recommend? Also, please list some of your favorite G-Shocks that you would recommend outside of these four. Now, when it comes to seeing all of these in the dark, the only one where you're going to be able to see more than just time is the Rangeman, as the rest are analog digital, and unfortunately all these models listed here only have the analog part illumined and also only the analog part illuminated. So the digital part is going to stay in the dark. Out of the three analog digital ones, I would definitely choose the GA1000 when it comes to nighttime visibility, as it uses that cool UV light where the lume really explodes, and I did cover that in my review. When it comes to some other models, I don't know, maybe the Golfmaster, because it has both lume and LED, one LED for the analog part and one for the digital. But you're gonna have to choose yourself. I would personally, out of all of these, I would choose the Rangeman, the all digital one, especially if nighttime visibility is something very important to you. Okay, second question from Batman. How do you replace the battery in a solar G-Shock? The same way as you would replace it on a regular G-Shock. So you open the case back, remove the old battery, put the new one, do the AC reset, and close the back. The only thing that you have to take care of is to buy the correct battery. It has to be a rechargeable one, and you're going to have the type of the battery listed in your instruction manual. Okay, moving on. Marko Ivkovic, where did you get the G2000 and can you get an MRG1? I usually get all my G-Shocks, especially those that are a bit rare, directly from Japan. I use Zen Market and I can really highly recommend them. And because they have, you can do Yahoo auctions, you can do Yahoo shopping, Rakuten, everything through them, and they handle the shipping, the insurance, everything. So yes, you can probably get the MRG1 and any G-Shock ever made. It just depends on the price and how often they come up. Saurabh Godara, what do you think about Gravity Master GRB100? I'm really confused between GW9400 and this one. I love Rangeman, but I can't ignore Bluetooth time sync and other Bluetooth features of the GRB100. Also, I'm from India, so multiband 6 is not going to work for me. But I really love having triple sensor. Well, you should probably try the new Rangeman. It has all the sensors, plus GPS, plus Bluetooth connectivity. I mean, that's the only model that's going to offer you everything that you asked out of these questions, but it's going to be a bit expensive. So maybe wait out a year or two until the prices drop. Okay, next question. Richard Cashman. Really enjoy your reviews. I own a Casio GShock G7900 and a Casio GShock GD350. Now that's a model that I really loved when it came out, and I still don't understand why I didn't buy it myself. And with both watches, the world time is off by an hour. If the real time is 10, the watch reads 11. So world time is always incorrectly advanced by 1 hour. I've made sure to correctly enter the DST timestamp, so everything should be equal. Since the problem exists with both watches, I don't think it's a watch problem. I think the UCT or UTC feature needs to be adjusted. Any thoughts? I believe you messed up the DST setting in your home screen. That's the only thing that can explain that both watches show the same mistake. Now, to do so, we're currently in winter time, so the DST should be off. So make sure to readjust your watches to the correct time with the DST turned off, and then the world times should also be okay. At least that's my theory, but let me know in the comment section if it worked. Okay, next one. We Love Watches asked me, what is your Grail watch? Now, when you ask that a watch person, that is something that really changes. But currently, or not currently, but for some time, I have two actually Grail watches. And when people say Grail watch, you know, somebody's gonna say like a Marine Master Seiko or a GW5000 G-Shock. Those are not Grail watches. They're actually attainable. In my opinion, a Grail watch is something that you really cannot attain no matter what happens in your life, unless, I don't know, you win a lottery or something like that. So the true Grail watches for me are the F.P.Journe centigraph and the JLC duometre travel time. I believe it's duometre unique travel time. Those two watches are just breathtaking in both looks and execution and the technology behind them and the level of complication and everything. And really, if money was no object, I would definitely own both of these watches. I hope that answers your question. Aleksander Yuson. I have a GShock Rangeman GW9400 but having problem getting RCVD since I live in the Philippines. I had one successful connect last October on China radio station. And now I'm trying to manually connect. I get L3 but no successful connection. Now getting L3 doesn't mean that you're actually going to connect successfully, because for the watch to receive all the data, the date, time and everything, it can take up to 10 minutes depending on where in the lineup it started receiving, because the towers send at a certain, how do you say, order. And if you jumped in the middle, you have to wait until this order is complete, until the next cycle begins. So having L3, it's enough to have one snap of the connection, and it has to start over. It has to wait for it to finish that cycle and then start over. Now you might want to try the do-it-yourself atomic amplifier that I did a video of on how to explain, how to amplify your reception results in a way, so that the signal is going to be stronger. I'll put a link somewhere here on the screen, so make sure to check that out and try it like that. And also always try it in the night. No matter, even if in the day, if you have L3, most times it's just not going to work unless you're very close to the tower. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the same person, Aleksander Yuson. I have a GShock GA100 CF. It's not tough solar, so I'm worried when the time comes that my battery is used already. I guess he's going to have to change it. I have a question. After replacing the battery with new one and putting the O-ring in place, is it still waterproof? Yes, if you seat the gasket correctly, it's going to be waterproof. Now with G-Shocks, if we ignore the screwback models, the plate goes straight down and pushes on the gasket, so there's no shearing. Because of that, you don't even have to do the greasing of the gasket, but I would still highly advise you, because it keeps the gasket fresh and moist, and it's more flexible. And you can get these for about $1 or $2, made specifically for watch gaskets, where you open it, put the gasket in, and just squeeze it a couple of times or spin it a couple of times, and it's going to grease it perfectly. But the most important thing is to seat it correctly. If you get it pinched, you're going to get water inside. So just be careful when you're doing it, and you should be fine. Okay, moving on. Maud Fodley, Alexa1, asked me, can you suggest me an analog quartz watch between 36 and 40 millimeters with a good lume, and one that has sapphire crystal under $300? Now, there is a perfect watch that would fit all this, and it's an excellent watch that's probably gonna outlast you and me and everyone else, and it's the Citizen Royal Marines, the regular version, because that thing is 40 millimeters, although it's usually advertised as 41 or 42, but that's including crown. It's actually 40, and it's probably one of the toughest watches, quartz watches, that you can get. It has a monoblock case, so it doesn't have a case back. Everything is put from the front. It has an extra thick sapphire crystal. It's made out of titanium. You can have either version on the titanium bracelet or on a Kevlar strap. And to me, it's a beautiful watch, only ruined by the Royal Marines Commando logo, because it's just too much on the dial. I don't understand why Citizen doesn't make a regular version without that logo, but what can you do? I don't know if you can find them for $300 though, because when they were on sale, yes, but currently that is a discontinued model replaced by some other models that I really don't like. But if you can find it used, trust me, it's one hell of a watch. It has beautiful big markers, contrasting hands, excellent lume, eco drive movement, so you never have to open it, which is logical when you have a monoblock case, and it's just a tough watch. You really can't beat it. That's it. Let's move on. Alexander Gomez, will you ever make a video comparing the features of all Square modules? I believe I pretty much did that. Not really modules, but I covered the whole GShock Square history, and in it I mentioned all the functions that each model has and the differences. So I believe I covered it. I don't think I should do more videos covering that, so I hope those videos will help you. Moving on. How did you get started reviewing watches? This is from Adan Romero. When your passion for watches started? I started reviewing watches when I got the Solar Tuna, as I was the SBDN 001, I believe it's. I realized I was the only person that got it because I got it on a pre-order. And there were no videos on YouTube, and I realized that maybe some people like me would like to know about that watch, how big it is, how the lug is, how it wears, what the lume is, and everything. So I just sat down and I really just turned on the camera and started talking about a watch. That was my first upload when it comes to watches. Then later on I realized that a lot of people get put negative feedback on Citizen watches, especially their atomic models, because they don't know how to set it up. So all negative reviews on Amazon are from people not understanding how to initially set up. So that was my next goal, to show people how to set up their watches, because there are some excellent watches that are hated and have bad reviews because of people who don't understand how to initially set it up. And usually these watches, the harder they are to initially set up, the easier they are to live with later on, because they do everything themselves. But you just have to show them the first time what's what. And one thing led to another. I started, talking about watches generally. Then some people contacted me offering to send their watches, usually from Portal Satoa, then Silvertime Watch Store, and things got rolling, and this is where we are today, 20,000 subscribers, and still doing uploads twice a week. Now, when it comes to when your passion for watches started, I really don't remember, but I know I was a little kid and always window shopping, getting glued. Whenever we would go anywhere, I would find a watch store and just ogle at the watches. I was really obsessed with them ever since I know about myself. Okay, G-Joy, let's see what he asked. I believe it's almost the same question. Which watch that bite you into this hobbies, the watch that triggered your enthusiasm? Like I said, I was always obsessed, but I do remember still very clearly that the first watch that was something that I dreamed of, but there was no way that I could afford it at the moment because I was, I believe, 10 years, was the PRT 40 ProTrack watch. It was so cool with the compass bezel that could turn and that sensor bulges on both sides and that light switch. It was awesome. And then I believe it turned up in the Hackers movie, worn by the main character, and I was like, oh my god. I was really dreaming about that watch for years, and then recently I started looking for a used one because, it has a lot of fantasies about that watch. So I believe that was the watch that really got me, really biting into watches. Okay, moving on. If you could only have one, and this is going to be the last one because I just saw that this is almost 14 minutes. If you could only have one G-Shock, which one would you choose? Now, if I really could have any one, and if it had to be only one, I have to say that it will be a regular battery operated screwback, like my DW5000. There's just something timeless about the design, about the screen layout, about the simplicity of it, but also about the toughness of it. I really do love that watch, and to me that is like a submariner of digital watches. And the simpler, the better. Now, I don't like the DW5600E. I wouldn't choose it as the only watch because it has a weakness. Every time when you change the battery, you can strip the screws. Every time when you move the strap and remove it, because it will rot with time, you can also strip the lugs. But on a screwback model, you can't do any of those. All you have to do is make sure you don't pinch the gasket when you change the battery, and I believe they can last you more than a lifetime. Well, that's it. I won't be reading. I will answer these others probably next week because this is already 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed and found the answers, at least some of them, useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so you don't miss any future uploads. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, bye.